Test. If you're looking for professional day trading education, high-level trade analysis, and dissection, you've come to the right place. My name is Pat Mitchell. I have been a professional day trader for the past 11 years, and I'm here to bring you exactly that. Professional day trading education, all here for free on YouTube and on X. And tonight, we are going to be going over a hell of a trade taken today on Qs. So without any further ado, let's get into it, folks. I hope you all had a wonderful day. One sec while I fire up these charts. Let's do this. One quick sec. Okay, let's rock and roll. So normally when I just trade one stock like this or ETF, however you want to put it, I would normally just blow it up on one screen, but it's important that we take a look at SPY as well, because that had a lot to do with this trade, especially with the amount of size that I put into it on the secondary entry. So ended up trading this twice. So what we were looking for here today, now keep in mind, if you are just joining us, this is the first time that you are seeing me here. These levels, all of these blue levels and trends, every level that you see on these charts are always placed prior to the market open. Every morning at 9 a.m., I strike these levels and develop trade plans that I stick with. I don't deviate from that. And it does include contingency plans. So if a level fails, I have a way out of it and a way to manage the trade. So on this trade here and these charts, if you take a look, SPY has that upper trend. We are below that upper trend. Qs, on the other hand, is above that upper trend. So when we have that divergence, the difference between those charts, I will always err on the side of SPY, because SPY is going to be more leading, right? It tracks 502, 503 stocks opposed to the 102, 103 that Qs does. So generally, I will lean a little more heavily on watching SPY, even though I may execute a trade on Qs. So even though we were looking, and normally I would execute these longs, right? Because there was more than opportunity to execute a long. We were above support on Qs, but we're below major resistance. Now, we could execute the long on the retest to run it up into this upper level. We could do that. Now, because we were below on SPY, I was expecting quite a bit of downside this morning. Now, that didn't happen, but from a day trading perspective, I mean, from highs at 614 down to lows at 610, that is 4 points of range while I'm trading options. That is more than enough. And you can see from best entry here to best exit, it's well over 100%. So how much do you really need? So what the trade plan was on both of these actually was not to just immediately go long or go short, but let it set up. So what I wanted to see on SPY was one of two things, because we opened right at that level. I wanted to see it come up and then slice through and fail, executing that retest. If it didn't do that, we had the opportunity up here to execute that short into that upper trend. Now, that didn't trigger until later on. But this here, that grind, this is going to come into this whole idea, the secondary idea here on Qs, because it's an important note. So on this here, as soon as we failed, we sliced through, I executed when it popped up. Now, I just traded this back and forth in this really tight range. It's a real tight range. But by this point, I'd already locked in about $5,000, $6,000 at that point on that trade, on just on this first little bit right here. And then now I'm watching morning highs, and I'm drawing this level very specific. Okay, it's a very intentional level. It's exactly where I want it. So as we're coming up, and I want to point out as we're coming up here, where my cursor is. Okay, I'm going to draw a quick line. As it's coming up into these highs, Qs did not break those highs. But if you take a look, SPY is grinding and squeezing into a protected level. The odds of this now on Qs, now it's already proven it doesn't want to go any higher. Okay, so this is the psychology of why these charts trade the way that they do. And this is the important part of this lesson, because this is what actually makes you the money in trading. It's not just executing a trade and fucking hoping for the best. It's actually understanding what is going on. When you can actually apply pressure, meaning size, because you are seeing something on these charts that is actually relevant. So when you have a chart like SPY that's grinding and squeezing, okay, that's what squeeze looks like, folks. Okay, when you zoom in on these candles, if you want to know what squeeze candles look like on proper stocks with, you know, huge floats and everything else, not penny stocks is essentially what I'm trying to get at. That's what it looks like. And we're squeezing up into a super protected level. We have trend, and then we have this day's highs. Okay. And it's a long ways up from the previous close. It doesn't, it's already proven it doesn't want to go any higher. So even if SPY wanted to keep coming higher, Qs would come up very minimally. You'd be looking at about 50, 60 cent risk off of these highs at a maximum. Okay. It doesn't want to go any higher. So once I start noticing that SPY is grinding up the way that it is and Qs is coming up into resistance, I am hammering it. And I'm just waiting for it to fall apart, and it will, because literally, and you can ask the members, there are lots of members that are listening right now and watching this. I said, as soon as it breaks this trend and this quick little trend here, it is going to fall apart. And that's exactly what it did. And I said that right there. So all I'm doing is I'm just waiting for the money to come in, waiting for it, execute that push, strip out a bunch of size, and then just purposefully paying myself all the way up. So locking in $17,076 on this trade, all within the first 30 minutes, 45 minutes of the market open. Now, I won't be trading the rest of the week because obviously tomorrow the stock market is closed. And then on Friday, it closes at 1 p.m. And I never recommend trading on short days. Just shut it down. Enjoy the long weekend. So I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you want to learn and start fresh after you eat a bunch of fucking turkey and nonsense, and you want to get your shit together, you want to come learn how to do this and work with a coach that can actually get you there, come to tricktrades.com. If not, continue enjoying the free stuff and continue chasing your tail as you have been. It's up to you. So on that note, folks, I hope you all have a wonderful long weekend. Have a great evening. Adios.